Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. You know my name, oh Daddy. I can see your hand in my life. Lord, I see your love upon me. Every time I look around, now you are the see. Every time I turn around, now you are the view. I dey hear your voice in my heart. Lord, I feel your love over me. Every time I look around, now you are the see. Every time I turn around, now you are the pillow. I'm a father, you know my name. Papa, you know me. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yelele, yelele.
Thank you very much, Reverend Brother Sama, for coming into the studios of ABC today to remind us. I promise I will always bring you in to let the Ambazunan people know where we are coming from and where we are going. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you greetings today, Tuesday, the 19th. Is it 19th? Yeah. Tuesday, the 19th of July, 2022, on our Amba history. Yes, today we will continue with our history. And as I told you, we will be basing our history on the current events that are taking place right now. And we will be recounting to you after every episode that takes place, especially the positive history that I like to talk on this platform. Greetings and 21 gun salutes to our able men and women on home front, like the Secretary of State for Defense had mentioned in this platform, that everybody at home is a militant, is a soldier fighting for the defense of the land, especially those who are fighting for justice. Congratulations and God bless all of you. And 21 gun salute to just every one of you. We appreciate your sacrifice, and absolutely we appreciate whatever you are doing. But before we go ahead, I want you to share this link to so many people, because there are a number of things that I'm going to be saying that we may not repeat. And these are things that we should put down in our history so as remind us where we are going. But before then, I've told you I always like Reverend Sama to tell us about our Father who knows the name of Ambazonia. And you might be there not knowing that he knows your name, but listen to this. It's a confirmation and an affirmation truly that he knows your name. Over to you, Reverend.
I give you glory, Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. You know my name, oh Daddy. You know me, you know my name. Jesus, you said I be a picking, no. Jesus, you said your love go cover me. Every time I look around, now you are the sea. Every time I look around, now you are the pillow. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Abba Father, yeah. You know me, you know my name. Papa, you know my name, oh. Abba Father, hey. You know me, you know my name. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yeah, yeah. Yelele, yelele, yelele. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Papa, you know my name, oh. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Yelele, 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 yeah. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yelele, 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 yelele. Oh, oh. Yelele, yelele, yelele. Abba Father, you know me.
Where you go. Come, let us rejoice and be glad. Hallelujah.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you very much. I know that Reverend Summer, please, God bless you. God bless you. On Amba history today, we have heard our brother gives us an assurance of our Father who knows your name and knows my name. And I know that whenever Reverend Summer comes in, sister will want to come in to tell us to remember. When you know that God knows your name, Father knows your name, what is the next thing to do? Is to also remember. It is a two-way kind of connection. And so, sister, yes, come in and tell us what we should remember. Once you remember, please, it is now left for you to personally take a decision after you have remembered that the Father knows your name. All right, sister, sorry for cutting you, but come right in. God bless you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sister, for our new sisters. Remember, today we have a very important announcement to make, and this announcement will have to come or will be coming as we continue in this program. Remember, in our Amba history, we usually bring in men and women. Actually, I've not actually had some women who can come in here and share in our history, especially history that is in the making. But I assure you, one of these days, we will have our ladies who will come in here and share in our history. And of course, I announced to you last weekend that we will be having Pandangam to come and share another piece of information that should get into you. Sometimes we carry out activities by intuition. That means they just down on us something that has been in the DNA of our forefathers. And so I will be bringing in Pa to come and tell us how they felt and how it is all going today, with him being an ear and eyewitness to some of the things that they had fought and fought sincerely. Now, before I go ahead, I want to let the Ambazonian people know that our real history that has produced what they call tap roots. It appears every tree, every branch that we have in our history now is a tap root. Yeah, because it has gone so deep that it's difficult for the people and the demonic powers that be to dismantle it. Why do I say so? I say so because I can see and I do recognize that the Ambazonian quest and the Ambazonian people are sincerely following up with what is happening. And those who have decided to go on the left side of our history, they are also very much struggling. What I tell you today is the current events started taking off when a number of people, I do not know how sincere they were, but what I know is that they wanted us to go to Boya. And when Ayuk Tabe was taken with the entire cabinet, of which I now know that the common sense man was just there as an activist, like some people have proven to be activists, and eventually they have disgraced themselves. The common sense man stood his grounds, and this was not ordinary. Ambazonians, 2018, when for the first time in the history of our struggle, and in sincerity and in truth and in honesty, our now president, Dr. Samuel Sako, gave an announcement, rather made a public claim that this battle does not belong to us, the people of Ambazonia, that the battle is belonging to God, who created the people of Ambazonia. And that announcement did not just come from emotions, or that announcement did not just come from a religious background. That announcement did not just come from a wish. That announcement came as a result of the Word of God, which is founded on faith. That is, believing those things that be not as though they were, and calling those things that are not seen as if they were seen. And when he stood on that, quoting from the history book that I have been talking about, which goes on to say that Abraham believed God and it was counted to him for righteousness. Even though it was counted to him for righteousness, Ambazonians, I want to know that this very righteous man suffered a lot in the hands of unfaithful and infidels, people that trusted in their idols, people that were idiots, as the Secretary of State for Communication, Dr. Mungwa, usually describes it, people who trusted in things and situations that could not actually deliver. Yeah, you can have faith in a very wrong thing. But if that wrong thing is as a figment of your imagination and you are told the truth and you don't want to set into the truth, that faith in that figment of your imagination may not, I say may not, produce the result. The result can only come, especially if you are ignorant and you have not been taught and told what to do. But immediately you are taught and told what to do, and you take that your faith and you place it in what you have been taught, in what knowledge has been given to you, I am telling you, there will be a turnaround. Recently, we have seen a lot of happenings in our struggle, whereby a number of people, like the president was mentioning when I came into the studio, I think it was a replay, that a number of people started with us. I think he was talking on the case of in the situation of the acting of the Swiss stocks. Some people who actually started with us, and along the way, some of them who were very, very serious and sincere, they had another God, a small God, that history tells us that once that God gets into you, it can be in the form of anything that is practically physical here on earth. You get confused if you are not trusting in the God, capital God, that you have not seen, but believe that he exists. Once you turn around and trust in any other God, and it is very clear from the history perspective that the God that many people trust in are the things they value above the Almighty God. When you value money, when you value popularity and pride, when you value material things, when you value any other thing above God, even you value yourself above God Almighty, then you have chosen the first God of your life. Listen, if you value position under pretext that you don't really want the position, but in your heart you want that position, and that position you want is good, is a good position and it's a good thing, but him who created you knows that you will not be able to deliver the goods if you get into that position, because you'll be corrupted either by the God of this world, which is mammon, money, or corrupted by popularity and empty pride, or corrupted by materials. You will not have the position, especially in a country that has been totally handed over to God. Dear Ambazonians, fellow Ambazonians, I want to let you know that our history that is in the making today is standing firm and strong because there is a man who got up without fear, without shame, without recurring or resulting to the popular opinion of people that you must belong to one mystical society, or the other before you can actually ascend the throne of leadership. He decided and said, no, I am not going to belong. So Rosicrucians have come, Freemasons have come, other secret societies have come. In fact, religious people too have come, because religious people, they have their own God, not the God of heaven. The God of heaven has no comparison and has no society. And when you trust in him, you must trust in him first and foremost as an individual. And when you trust in him as an individual, and you can hear him as an individual, you will go with his leadership. It doesn't matter the popular opinion. You will go with his leadership. And once you are in reality with his leadership, definitely you will succeed. I don't know, but I'm not that I don't know, but what I'm saying is that a number of Ambarazonians have sat down and they have studied and they have listened and they have read and they have come out with a blueprint of how many coup d'etats or plottings that have gone against Dr. Samuel Ekome Sako to dethrone him so that the will of La Republique can be done. And some of the things that have been said to label him and try to blackmail him has been that he is working with La Republique. You know, the devil is very trickish. He, first of all, casts a blame on you and throws a guilty trip. If you buy that guilty trip and try to justify, you will discover that he has succeeded in distracting you. I once told you a story which I want to repeat here today, which is history. And this history is very real. When I was a young minister and I was doing the best I could do for my God, a number of people whom I now believe were used by Satan. They were also in the church where I was ministering. And when these people began throwing fits at me, I became a little bit very distracted. I started running from pillar to post to make sure I find out every allegation and every libel that was put on me. And I had to resort to a seasoned man of God whom I took as my father spiritually. When I got to him, he sat down, reasoned with me, and gave me one advice. He said, "Man, if you say God has called you, go and face what God has called you to do. And please stop running up and down to settle every score and every allegation that is said about you. Whether it is true or it is false, if you are rising or you are falling, you are rising or falling in the ministry and in the hands of him who has called you. God has called you. No church has called you. No elder, no pastor, no member of any group has called you. It's God. So if you want to go around and settle every score with every man that has said anything and everything about you, that will be a new ministry that Satan has succeeded to give to you, and you will not be fulfilled." And I have seen this actually work with our president, Dr. Samuel Ekome Sako, whereby he is focused. I am perceiving that he must have had the same counsel, not directly, but by intuition, from this very seasoned servant of God who had made this counseling that passed through me to many others. I have been telling a lot of people, don't be worried about the lies, the fabrications that they tell and they say about you. Do you have a purpose? If that purpose is from God, pursue it. Nobody will be able to throw your back on the ground. So discard anything and disregard anything that people are saying which is negative, of which you are not involved spiritually and physically. Because this battle, as I've been telling Amazonians, our battle has completely turned around and it is purely spiritual. And if you listen recently, you hear so many other things will come out. We have been telling the Amazonian people that the interim government of the Federal Republic of Amazonia is instituted by God. And I can tell you 101 reasons why I personally believe that it has been instituted by God. Because great men, real brains, intellectuals, but dishonest intellectuals have arisen in our revolution, in the house. And they have done everything practically to eliminate and to stop the interim government from going ahead with its positive agenda to take us to Boya. They have done everything under heaven. And also they have broken the gate of hell to ask Satan what they can do. And of course, the distractions are going on. And every now and then we come out to warn you that these distractions are to take you away. Unfortunately, most of the people that stood their grounds that we should go to Boya together and they were in home front, They are no more alive to hear what we are talking about. But we had said it in their ears, but they gave a deaf ear and decided to follow their own pernicious ways, ways that decided to follow their own deceptive ways. There are a lot of Ambazonians who are very, very intellectual, very, very intelligent, intellectual gurus, but unfortunately, they don't have the common sense, which is given only by God. With all their knowledge of book that they have read, they don't know, and they don't have just the common stand to stand with God. And as it is written, where two or three, what the English adage says that one with God is majority. They are correct, because the history book I'm reading is saying God looked for a man to stand in the gap and be truthful and be sincere and face what he wants to face. Now, some of us who are close to Mr. President of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, Dr. Samuel Sarko Ekome, we know his resistance, and we know his resilience, and we know how much he has suffered in the hands of his own people that he tried to save. Now, I personally have heard him recount how he has helped a lot of our fighters on the ground who have gone so wayward because they trusted in other demonic and mystical ways of trying to carry out this action. And of course, it will always end. You know, when you find some of them doing the hideous things that they are doing, they are not sent by this particular servant of God. And he has advised and saved a number of people who turned around to be cannibals among their own people. You are an ARF. You have been sent there to protect your people, but you turn around, like I'm hearing. You torment them. You put roadblocks for them, collect little money from them, and of course, kidnap some of them. What are you doing? And when you are asked, you say that you are doing it to support the fight. The supporting of the fight is not by force. No. It was Jesus whose statement Voltaire made, that he came with love and he won the whole world and is going behind him. Yes, that is what he did. Satan came by force. Hitler came by force, conquered and conquered and conquered. But at the time, after killing the Jews and killing all the people that he could kill, he ended up in misery. Ambazonians, can we learn from history of other people? We have constantly and continuously been telling you that God is found in every situation in life. When you go into telling lies to blackmail your brother and you label him with a name that you are actually carrying, because it is your actions that will show that you are for La République du Cameroon, not the words that you speak and put on other people. You can't imagine that money is contributed for you to defend the homeland, and then you keep it, and at the end of the day, you stage play robbery, you stage play, scamming. And after stage playing the scamming and stage playing robbery, you come out to ask receipts from somebody who did not even sign the money for you. And the person who signed the money with you is right there. And because he is in your camp, you decide to heap the lies on somebody who just sat there, and you brought a deal and he gave the deal over to your partner in crime, and then you executed it, and now you are coming to ask for bills, for receipts from him. What an irony. And when we say it, people say we are divided. No. Look, we are talking about peace. Peace cannot come with justice. Even so, in our house, justice must start in our house. Are you straight? Are you okay? What you are saying, can it be verified? Can it be verified? The lies you are telling. Now, if it is truth, truth can be verified. But let me tell you, friends, lies cannot be verified. And lies will only heap up to other lies. Now, telling lies in the midst of a people who claim and profess that God Almighty is their God, don't you know that you are spitting at the face of God? He will laugh at you. You will go very far. Many people, a crowd of the same mindset will follow you in your lives, because I have discovered, this is now practical, I have discovered that many people who live in lies and can fabricate lies at any moment will want to believe a liar than believing the truth, of which is not a strange thing for so many to believe, because it is written, the truth, which sounds and seems very difficult, will have very few people, and lies that can exaggerate and promise you heaven while hell does not even belong to them, people will follow it. Yes, hell was created for such people. It doesn't belong to them, but they will promise you heaven that they have no taste of it. And then they'll go ahead to tell lies and blackmail the person who is in the truth. But guess what? The man goes to bed, sleeps very soundly, gets up, continue in his focus as he has been told and given the assignment by God. And of course, Ambazonia, whether we like it or not, is free. Oh yes, it's free. You have heard people who have, a liar will come out and say Ambazonia is abstract, independence is abstract. And the same liar will come out tomorrow and say, no, Ambazonia, our headquarters is this way. Well, excuse me, a double-minded and a double-tongued man cannot excel. That is why we have seen in the Ambazonian revolution and struggle that it is ordained by God. Because those who are stable and they speak one thing till tomorrow, we have seen that the interim government is speaking one thing. Groups have been formed and counter-formed and counter-created, but all these groups created and counter-created, they're just making noise. We have said on this platform of the interim government that Ambazonia belongs to all of us. And if you can run to save Ambazonia from your angle, that will be fine. But when you come out with lies, when you come out with lies to tell lies about the struggle, and then you particularly pinpoint one person, and all of you, I think if somebody could die under the weight of lies, I think our president would not have been alive today. Dr. Samuel. He would not have been alive. He would have died a long time ago, because I don't know how many 911 and tippers of tons of lies have been heaped on him. When I close my eyes, my mind's eye, I can see 150 70-ton trucks packed with lies. And when they are thrown on him, guess what? He just gets up as if it is water that has been thrown on a duck's back. And that is the resilience that the interim government has. Yes, lies have even emanated from the house, blackmailing from the house. And guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, if you are still sitting in the house and Satan has built a very high mountain in your heart to make sure that you join the coup plotters to bring down this interim government, I have a very sad announcement for you. It has failed. They call it death on arrival. And I don't want to rejoice in what is happening, but let me tell you very briefly that many people who have turned their backs, who were with the interim government, they had one portfolio or the other. God is my witness. I'm not in their hearts, but please ask them to tell you the truth. They will tell you that they are not sleeping well because of the blood money that they have chopped and lied on Sako, because of the deceit that they have deceived people and they have been killed. Their consciences are pretending. Devil tells them that you are okay. No, but their consciences are beating them. As I'm talking to you now, They know what they have done. Some of their names, I don't actually know their names. But when the VP was here a few days ago, I'm sure we missed their program yesterday. But when the VP was here on the last week, which we repeated yesterday, they mentioned a number of names who are involved in the games that they played, particularly in Bui. Is somebody will come and sit down as if he's one of us and will go out and frame a lie that will turn around the other people that were not there, and the general opinion that is taken positively for the salvation and the deliverance of our land is perverted. What a wickedness. What a witch, a wizard amongst people. That guy is a wizard. I don't know if they call him Velkov or whoever. He's a wizard. Now, most of these people are members of occultic groups, and they're wondering while their occult master is doing everything to make sure that we fall. They have joined La Republique. I overheard the president mention something here that what happened in Fumban will not happen in this government, or will not happen in our generation. You know what happened in Fumban? Foncha hid a number of things. He was hiding a number of things from Dr. Endele. And Dr. Endele was very pure and a man that could just go ahead and follow. And the coup plotters and some of the people who have formed groups wanted to cajole and make Dr. Sako to drop the Swiss stock and hand it over to them. And they have failed. Just like, Foncha prevailed over Dr. Endele. I do not know how many people Dr. Endele had. And then they just gave in. Today, we are not giving in. The truth is that where 2 or 3 stand in the truth of what God has said, those 2-3 people will succeed. Listen to me. Those 2-3 people will succeed. I've seen some La Republique fellows who have seen that ABS lies cannot suit them. They come in here to try to cajole us, to try to say some things that will make us divert what we are saying. But we're not going to do that. We will not divert from the truth of what we are saying. We are simply saying that 2018, this particular president handed over this government of Ambazonia to God, and God took over, and God has been working. You see that anybody who gets up and tells a lie, okay, recently, we are still waiting to hear. I overheard the former, this loud mouth, they call him, his name is now Loud Mouth, making a lot of noise as usual. And people are still following. Meanwhile, all the lies he has told, people have now known that it's lies. And when he was talking yesterday, I thought there were some DDR boys who, I don't know how they connected it, and they were mocking. And I pity the DDR boys, and of course I pity the young man first, because when you sell yourself to Satan, he uses you to a point that he will destroy you. Now, many people who have left the interim government and have sat doing their own thing, they have no problem, because you are not forced to be in the interim government. You are an Ambazonian, do your thing. But when you leave the interim government and you go out there to spread lies because you have a name, my dear friend, your days are numbered. Your days are numbered. I don't yet know, but I remember that when some of the leaders of the counties and LGAs got up and got in touch with the fighters on the ground from their LGAs, they made them to think that they were the people that were supplying them with all the money that was being contributed into the LGAs. And so those fighters, especially their generals and their leaders, they felt that these guys were the kings and they were taking orders from them. And when the interim government started talking, some of them mocked at the interim government. And of course, they crossed over to the other side. And today, they are history. Is it the interim government that is killing them? No, sir. But if you say it's because they pray to their God and their God is killing them, I will say yes. But do they pray that God should kill anybody? Of course, no. The consequences of your lies, especially when you are faced with the enemy, and you decide to leave a house that is protecting you, and you go out after you have taken what this house has given you, the finger that has fed you, you are biting it. The bite will be dangerous. And we know a number of them who have already gone. They have gone. They cannot hear what I'm telling you today. It's because we don't come here with titles. If I came here and I said, this is the prophet of God, speaking the mind of God to the people of Amazonia. Now listen to me. God has said, I'm sure many of you who are religious, you will tentatively believe, even though some of you who are outright criminals, you already belong to the satanic groups of what La Republique had introduced you into and told you that the day you reveal their secret or the day you go out, you will die. You are afraid to die. And yet, you are leading other people to die. I don't know what their names are. I've always heard my pastor, Reverend Dr. Victor, mention one Judson who deceived Komando. And a few days after, Komando was killed. I've heard that Ayeke joined Ayabacho, and not how many days long, he was destroyed. I've heard of Mad Dog, who started really going around to deliver his people. He finally ended up with ADF and was killed. Now we heard of course, Ivor's own was the first that this guy killed. We have heard of General Big Number. I mean, is it Big Number or Big Toe, whatever thing they call him, And so many of those people in Guzang who at the beginning felt that they were fighting to liberate our land, but a demonic group arose to counteract, counting longevity, and so on. In fact, I am told that this young man who has become the advocate of a demon, of a devil behind Ambazonians and talking as if he is an angel of light, that the whole family are believers. I'm talking of Capo Daniel, that Ngong, that the whole family are believers. They believe in the true God and they are worshippers of God, and that he is the only devil that came out from that house to fight Ambazonians to a standstill with the noise that he is making every day. Why is it that they are the very first people to announce the killing of our real fighters when they have deceived them to get into their trap? Now they came up with a thing they call unity whatever. Now unity that is going around killing other people. I am told this one is verifiable, because I will not say things here that tomorrow I'll be chewing my lips. I am told, and it is verified, that more people have died in the hands of the no pity, our own people. Right now, he has disarmed a number of our own people, not La Republique, because he joined Unity. And Unity is another name that was given by Ayaba to deceive people to join him in the killing squad and to act for La Republique du Cameroon. Ambazonians, our history is not hidden. It is not in those days where they took away all the books of history, of our history, where we came from. Some say we came from South Sudan. Some said we came from North Sudan, and so on. They took away all those books, and then they brought us the European history. And then they brought us, is it biology? How that a tsetse fly has 7 eyes and two feelings, and so on. Now, when you study all the parts of the tsetse fly and the part of a cockroach, at the end of the day, what do you do with it? They brought all this in to deceive us. And many of us, we went into that deception while they were doing exploit, busy finding out, because it is written, it is the matter of a king. The Lord brings out what he brings out, give it out, and it is the nature of the king to find it out. God has buried a lot of things on this earth for us, and it is for us to find it out, because we are kings and priests unto him. We are the ones to find it out. But they bring us this deception to teach us the parts of an animal and the parts of an elephant. And then we feel ourselves, and then some people are proud that I'm a PhD in animal husbandry and development. And so what? We want you to bring up something that's going to help us socially. There are only two things. We need the intervention of God in our social life, and we need what to eat in order to pass through this life. Because all of us, plus you, yes, I mean you listening to me, one day you're going to die. And if you're going to die, were you created to come into the world, go to school, become an adult, grow up, marry, give birth to children, and die? Is that all that you had to do in this life? If that was all, I think there will be a mistake somewhere. But God created you for a purpose. And the purpose is to educate yourself in His ways. And when we come here and we're telling you how to educate yourself in God's way, how to get up and know yourself and know what you can offer to the people, you call us names. And when we tell you the truth, you call us surrogates. I have said it before and I'll continue to say it. If tomorrow somebody is speaking the truth and standing by the truth, like the vice president came up yesterday, a few days ago, and said what he said, I will stand by him. Those are the kind of people that I will want to follow them. Not somebody that says today is A, and then tomorrow he changes. No, I made a mistake. That A was not actually A. I meant to say that it was AA or AB. No, that kind of a person, I won't follow him. Like the Secretary of State for Communications, where he comes out and he gives a detailed explanation of what is going on. Like Ma Pei and Ma Rachel and the interim House of Rep, Honorable Winifred, when they come out and they speak, tomorrow they repeat the same thing, meaning that they are consistent, meaning that they know what they are saying. Those are the people I would gladly become a surrogate for all of them. Now, the interim government has structures, and these structures, especially the structure of the Ethics Commission. The ethics is to make us to say what you have to say, which is what you have to say, and say it rightly. Not only saying it, but to say the saying and to do the doing. You don't only say, you say and you do. That is what the Ethics Commission is all about. And this structure has been put up right in the interim government at this time of war so that we can arrange ourselves. Then some people who have been taken captive by the devil in his craftiness, they will get up and say, oh, the Constitution is this and that, and you cannot interpret the Constitution. And we will tell you that, please, let us go and see the people who can interpret the Constitution to interpret. You create your own faction. And then you say, these are the people who follow. And look at where you are. And then you come out to disgrace yourselves in the public. Oh, we did not have this. They asked me for this. I could not provide it, and this and that. Why did you first of all go to say it before they were asking and you could not provide when you just heard it? That's why the interim government has announced and has said and has banned propaganda on ABC. We will continue to tell the truth and not lies, because lies has not delivered anybody. And when people like us come in here to tell you the truth, some of you who are liars, you expect us to exaggerate. Well, I listened to one young man yesterday who was lamenting the death of Field Marshal, and he was talking all kinds of stories, and I laughed. This is a man that consistently La Republique has sent battalions and battalions and battalions and battalions to take him away. But because he was under the protection, you say I should not say it, I will say it. He was under the protection of God. God, who has ordained this struggle and called us to come under his canopy. He jumped out. And because these people who are in the diaspora deceived him, and he's standing there facing danger, he started growing wings and said, yes, we are the King Kongs. We are the ones that have it. His own brother deceived him and took him out from the coverage of God. And what happened? Finally, if it's true, because there are still some doubts that are casted out there. But I heard this from his brother, talking who has killed him, which means that it is true. I never wanted to say anything about him because I know a number of things, but I couldn't say anything until I heard from his own brother. who got up one morning and said Dr. Sako should hand over to the Kodenge prison. She should hand over to Ayuk Tabe's people. That was Chris Anu. He said he should hand over to Ayuk Tabe's people. And this is the very man who stood his ground and has driven a number of people from the interim government because of his careless talk and his unconstituted, unconstrued, and unverifiable lies that he has been telling on the ABC TV. And when he got out, he formed a clique. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, do you know that the covering cherub, the angel of light, brighter than all the angels, the music and the choir master of heaven, they call him Lucifer, son of the morning, the bright and morning star. Those are the appellations he was called before his fall. But eventually, when he saw that he had all those things, like Chris Anu would say, I have the final say. No, sir. God has the final say in the Amazonian quest. If we were under Lucifer, you could have been his angel to say you have the final say and we'll believe you. But as long as this is for God, you don't have the final say. And he thought that after gathering a number of people, like Lucifer gathered people, what happened? 1/3 of the angels of God, that's why we have demons and evil spirits today. 1/3 of them followed Lucifer. And today, there is no way of repentance for them. But as humans, all of you who have followed the lies that were propagated on this ABC. Somebody called me a few days ago and said, yes, Chris Anu has gone and you are now on the ABC every day. Why were you not there every day? My dear friend, it's a long story, which is history. You know, a number of people who were supposed to be on this ABC could not be on this ABC because he wanted to do something and he did it. And of course, when you are doing something that is not of God, you can go to the highest height. The day you will fall, it will be known. This is Field Marshal that La Republic has done everything to capture him. Prayers were covering him. I mean, prayers. You know, everybody prays, right? But it depends to whom you are praying. Prayers were covering him. Men were interceding. Women were interceding. But at the end of the day, he jumped out. After deceiving Mr. President, he thought that he was deceiving Mr. President. He didn't know he was deceiving God. You can't deceive God. He said, oh, your son is hungry and you are my this one and that. After Mr. President sent him a token, I don't know how much, the following day, may not be exactly the following day, but after a few days or weeks, he came up and declared and called that little girl, who is also very egoistic and power hungry, who doesn't know her left from her right. Then they call her Mrs. President. And she is there under a spell of Satan. I just pity her, and I'll continue to say it. Now, they have gone in there, and what they blame the interim government for not doing, and they have captured the name of the interim government, and they are still using the name of the interim government, but they cannot make any difference. We have not seen the firepower that they blame the interim government for not producing. And I'm even told, I'm still waiting to hear that their reverend, God, have mercy on your name, that even Jezebel can be called reverend. And of course, they are not ashamed, because if I'm the one, I will drop, I will stop. But it still goes about calling the name of God and still praying. I read in the history that Jeremiah said, God told Jeremiah, when these people come to you, please don't pray for them. Don't pray to me for them. It's there in the Bible. God refused prayers. And some of these people who have grown up so religiously, they go to sit under a spell called prayers. Well, Satan is not ashamed and is not afraid to get into where people are praying, especially when you are praying and you are under his captivity. He is okay. He's comfortable. He knows that the noise you are making does not go across the roof of the house where you are. not to talk of getting to God. No, he sits down and he's smiling. And these people still go under these lies, you know. Well, I'm still to come up because so many names were mentioned as the days go by. Yeah, we are not glad. The interim government, once the interim government will be clear of what has happened, I'm sure my boss, the Secretary of State for Communications, will come out here and then make an obituary for Field Marshal. He had left our house, but was he still an Ambazonian? Yes, he was an Ambazonian in his own camp. But then we will not, because we are not jealous and we are not insensitive. We are compassionate. And I'm sure the interim government, after hearing from the brother yesterday, he came openly yesterday, that's Chris Anu, in his ABS of La Republique Annex, and made some announcements and made some things. We don't know whether some of the things that he was saying were lies, because we have noted that 3/4 of what he speaks is not coherent. So we are still waiting to get the confirmation. My boss will be coming up today at, is it 9 p.m.? Yes. I think I'll listen to him keenly to hear what he's going to say. But I'm just saying that because I heard myself directly from Anu's mouth what he was saying. But from other sources, they mentioned this Jezebel, how she arranged for a peace mission. How wonderful. Peace mission with who? God have mercy. Now, when we tell you that this government is instituted by God and it will take God, when the people reject the God, then God will remove his hands. But as long as we are still hanging on to God in our sincerity, we may be ignorant and innocent of so many things. But as long as we are still very sincere with our God, who reads the hearts and sees our actions, we will continue. Now, the history that Ambazonia is making is that on Saturday, the 16th of July 2022, when we relaunched the draft for the Ambazonian support of the humanitarians and other aspects of this struggle. Now, we started with Mezam. Mezam County came up with a staggering amount of $251,000 plus. And this is still under the interim government, and he uses the interim government. Remember, the interim government is not an individual. The interim government is comprised of a number of institutions that have been put in place in the governance of the people of Amazonia. And this interim government has a plan and a purpose. The money does not go into the hands of an individual's pocket, as has been insinuated. And you know, when lies go out, many people believe in lies. They believe in lies. When we are telling the truth, they say we are coming too late. Why did you not talk first? No, we are not in competition. We are not running a relay race. That's not what we are running. We are out to give you the truth, and the truth sometimes is very slow, but must accomplish its purpose. And so, even if we are slow, but we have decided and started getting proactive, because when we know that this is a fact and it is a truth and can be verified, we don't go ask for flesh and blood to confirm. No, we go ahead and say it. Right now, as the draft has started, this Saturday, we are going over to Manu to see that the humanitarian disaster that La Republique has continuously caused on us will not relent until they are completely driven out. The unfortunate thing for us humans, but not for God. Listen, unfortunate thing for us, not for God, I repeat, because this is God's business. La Republique can kill all the people that they think that they can kill. They can bribe people who are in their house to even give up their own brothers to be killed. And then they come to make crocodile tears. They can tell you to get out of the house. Go and find out anybody that left the interim government and did not focus on his ways, but started blackmailing, biting the finger that has been feeding him or her. Go and find out. The interim government has entered here and given clear instructions. Those of you who are defending homeland, please don't go for parties. We are at war. Don't go for parties. Another trick that the Republic has used is that they have called the elites, so-called elites that are members of occultic groups, elites that are members of secret society that can give even their own wives and children, and giving them money that has been initiated to the devil, and say, go and give to these fighters and tell them that you are supporting them. And we have told you that we have gathered intelligence that such money has been sacrificed to the altar of slaughter of the devil. And when you get that money, you are confused. They have used a spell that you are confused. You will do what they want you to do. And before you realize, you are dead. They started it in Bafut, and they have killed a number of resistance forces in Bafut. Why? Because when we tell you not to, anybody who comes up now that he's an elite from your village or from your county or from your LGA and gives you any money that he wants to support the fight, just know that, especially if that man has any connection with CPDM, Cameroon People's Destructive Party, CPDM, Cameroon People's Destructive Movement. Now, when you get any money from them, know that you are destroyed, because Ambazonians do not and cannot eat in the same pot with darkness. So when you get that money, unfortunately, you are gone. Oh yes, you'll be gone. And when you are gone, we'll tell the story as we are telling today. Now, if you discover that the scout boys of La Republique have not been actually very, very stable, and they have not actually done the havoc and the devastation that they're supposed to do to us. But what have they done? They have used the tricks that a number of people use in the history book that I'm reading. There was a group of people that Joshua was to destroy, and they discovered that if they go out to face them, as they have killed other nations coming, they will also destroy them. So they decided to wear racks and take old wineskins and bread that is molded, and went over to meet Joshua and deceived Joshua and say, man of God, we are coming from very, very far. We saw that, and we heard what your God is doing to you. So we have come to make sure that, we sign a peace agreement. You will pass through our land, and we shall not be, you shall drink our water, and shall do this and this. Joshua sat down there and made an agreement with them. Once that agreement was signed, before the following morning, Joshua discovered that they were just the next door neighbors, and the agreement had been signed. When he went back to God, God said, no, you cannot lay your hands on the people you have signed an agreement with them. Ambazonians, listen, this battle we are facing is very, very spiritual. And when we come here and we warn you, soldiers on home front, ARFs, not to take money, not to form any alliance with those people, and the ones that we already know them, that they are a part and parcel of La Republique, don't get involved with them. You who is sincere and wanting us to go to Boya, they will kill you first. Because the other ones, they have already signed a pact and they are already members of the occult group. And then when you get in there as a new man, they say move like this and you don't move, you are killed. That's why we hear of the seizing of ammunition from our own people, by our own people, not by La Republique. And from the times of, who is that from RK, we warn them, don't go for birthday parties, don't go for ceremony, cry die. Don't go for any of those things. We are at war. They know you, and you'll be betrayed by the very people who are inside there, whom the La Republique has given them something. Because they are bribing everybody. You know, that's their method of operation. They have been bribing people over the years. And people are so gullible, especially those who don't know Jesus Christ, who has taken away the gullibility in the heart of so many people. If you don't know him in person, personally, you will be deceived. I'm not talking about having a title. God, there are so many people who are on the other side, coup plotters, singing praises and pretending to be praying to God, and they know their conscience are bearing them that the game that these people played, some of them have personal grudges, some of them are very selfish, some of them wanted a position that nobody, what do you want to do with a position, my dear friend? Some of them wanted money that is contributed for the salvation of our people on home front to be given to them. And when this did not work, they decided to join the other side. I'm sure they are giving them money now. Let them take the blood money and enjoy and live well. Unfortunately. And they have very big religious titles as men of God. It's sad that man of God, that we are talking about verifying the truth and going by the truth. And then you will jump out to go to a place where you are hearing lies and you know that they are lies. Even your own members are regretting, who are not close to God as you claim to be. They are regretting that they have been asking for the evidence of why this man was persecuted and was asked to remove, and he was not removed, and then you decided to impose your own. And then you go to a religious place where they inaugurate, it's very sad. To me, when it comes to God, I think family has to come immediately after God. But when you put family before God, you are finished. Yes. When God tells you something, and because of your family, you stop to do what God has told you, then there is a problem somewhere. And I think that family should understand that even though we are a family, we are individuals before God. It's not a family that shall stand in the day of judgment. It's you. Whether you are the last or the head or the middle of a family, you shall stand as an individual before God. And when institutions are made, now, time will fail me. The interim government today is standing on the foundation that Dr. Endele and Gumjua stood very firmly, not to have anything to do with La Republique. But our cousin, how do I call him, who came into our midst and succeeded, today, with his sincerity, he was trying to make sure that we are free, but he didn't know. That one is past history. We should not make that mistake. If people are really, really shouting on top of their voices, oh, the interim government is working for La Republique, interim government is working for La Republique, yet they are the ones that are doing the whole job on home front. Yet they are the ones that are supporting our refugees out there in La Republique and out there in other countries. Then we are pointing and figuring that they are working with La Republique. What a curse upon a people who will not want to listen. Fellow Ambazonians, I think today we want to end here by letting you know that this interim government is under the umbrella of God Almighty. And when you reject this God Almighty, guess what? You have rejected life. And those who are facing the bullet, they will go and they will not hear what we are saying. But we have been saying it. So those of you who are still alive and you have joined that group of people that are deceiving you, I want you to know that there is still time for you to run out. Reverend Sama, please, can you come in and remind us again that he knows our name?
I may hear your voice in my heart. Lord, I feel your love over me. Every time I look around, now you are the sea. Every time I turn around, now you are the below. Abba Father, you know my name. Papa, you know me. Yeah.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Brother Sama, for coming. Reverend Sama, for coming up and reminding the Ambazonian people that Jesus, whom our president has trusted in, he's not ashamed to say that. That is the power, and that is the secret, and that is where we are hiding, and we will continue to hide there. Now, when you remember this, as I said, the door is open. You can come in and be a part of this family. Now, sister, remind us when you remember, and then we'll call it quit for today. Until tomorrow, I'm looking forward to bringing Pa Augustine Dam, possibly tomorrow or after, so that we can talk more on a few other things. So remember, tomorrow, 5 p.m. Amba time, we are on again. God bless you and have a wonderful evening. Stay tuned to our programs on ABC.
Remember his goodness.